So the first thing you're gonna do is burnish until the ends curl up. Okay, and you can do this with the back end of the mirror or with a football or large ball burnisher. Then you're gonna pick the band up in your right hand, in your left hand so that it's smiling, okay? Then with your right hand, you're going to fold the ends in. Now you need to make sure that you have enough of a tail here that you're gonna be able to drop it into the Tofflemire, and then the loop is in the inside of my hands. Make sure you don't squeeze that loop to make that a crease. You wanna keep it as a loop. Okay, so to back up, in my left hand I have the band smiling. With my right hand, with my index and thumb, I'm just bringing the ends in, and then I'm not doing anything else, leaving that tail out. With my left hand, I'm going to pick up the Tofflemire. Now all I have to do is drop that into here, okay? That diagonal slot has to always be facing me, and then always facing the gingiva when it's placed. So I have my tail sticking out. I need to drop that tail into that diagonal slot. Drop it right in. Now we'll say we're setting this up for tooth number 30, which means I have two options here. I can set this up either for maxillary left or maxillary right. If I'm doing tooth number 30, I'm going to set it up for maxillary left. I'm going to make sure my tail isn't hanging out too much out of that box, and I'm going to tighten the outer knob. Back end of the mirror to round that off. And then I can adjust the circumference. Okay? So I'm going to make it wider. Now it's ready to go on the tooth. So we said tooth number 30. So when I put this on the tooth, the wider part has to be at the occlusal, and the narrower part, narrower circumference, is going to be at the gingival third. And then this diagonal slot has to be facing the gingiva.
Teachers like stand over you the whole time. It's not like you're like left for the.
So you're going to go right over the tooth. Now the diagonal slot is facing the gingiva. The Tofflemire is on the buccal, and it's coming out of the corner of the mouth, not shooting out of the side of the cheek. You want to make sure you have it 1/4 of an inch beyond the occlusal portion, and then you're going to use the inner knob to tighten it righty-tighty so that's nice and snug around the tooth. Okay? If it's not up high enough, which it was, but then once I tightened it wasn't, loosen it a little bit, bring it back up in a more occlusal direction, and then tighten it again. Okay? Make sure it's nice and snug so it's not falling off the tooth, and then you're going to place your wedges. Now when you're placing the wedges, you want to make sure that the wider part, so look at it like a triangle, the widest part of that triangle is against the gingiva, and the point, or the narrower part, is right at the contact. And these are going to be placed on the lingual. So you load it in and then push with the back end of the, what's that? Wider end at the gingiva. Okay, so that's the finished product there. So you can see the points of the triangle are right at the contact point, and the wider part is against the gingival area. Now when you go to remove, make sure you're always holding your cotton pliers in the pen grasp with the beaks pointed towards the arch you're working on, and the wedges are going to come out first. And now we want to separate the Tofflemire from the band altogether. So you're going to put your finger over the occlusal and you're going to adjust the outer knob so we can separate the Tofflemire and the band. And you're just going to pull up. with those cotton forceps and gently tease that out in the occlusal direction and right into the dark spot.